Are we getting Final Fantasy on Xbox?
Tell me! Hell no! Come on, wait! To the no, no, no! Come on, come on!
So the other day, Final Fantasy VII had their 25th anniversary stream, where Square Enix had several announcements to make. They showed some merchandise and several iOS and Android games like Final Fantasy VII First Soldier that came with a beta, by the way, for those who are excited for that. The other game that is getting an HD remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, on iOS and Android is Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. I'm not interested in this game. For those who play mobile, great for you. I'm not even a Final Fantasy VII fan anyway. So whoever's excited for this, good for you. I'm glad for you, I guess, or whatever. So of course we have to address maybe the 2 or 3 big announcements of this live stream we had a few days ago. One of those is that Xbox is finally getting a Final Fantasy VII type game, which is Crisis Core. Crisis Core is a PSP game now made or remade for a whole lot of platforms like the Switch, Xbox, of course PlayStation, and PC. Everybody, when they saw Crisis Core come back, they're like, oh, that means if we're getting Crisis Core on the Xbox, that means Final Fantasy VII will be on the Xbox, right? Well, I'm sorry to say it, but no. Final Fantasy VII Remake fans rejoice because you're finally getting a PC Steam port of the game with all its 8K, 4K, 120, 220 frames per second, and new button layouts. Which is funny because of the button layouts, I bet it will have an Xbox controller on the screen. But funny enough, no Xbox port. Will there ever be an Xbox port? At this point, I think not. I think Sony somehow, somewhere, actually locked the whole trilogy down to I don't know how many years or 8. At this point, I will not expect this. I saw a lot of people predicting that on the Xbox showcase, the game was actually going to be ported to the Xbox and it will come to Game Pass, which deep down, not even deep down in me, I always knew that was not going to be the case. I never said it out loud though. I'm not a Final Fantasy VII fan, but to those who are actually fans of the franchise and this game, I wanted this game to come to Xbox for those people. Again, at this point, I will not hold my breath at all for anything Final Fantasy Remake related. Why? Well, apparently Sony, it seems that way though, that Sony locked this game down for the entirety of their releases. At this point, Final Fantasy VII has not come to other platforms except for PC. Final Fantasy VII reintegrated or the remaster versions on PS5. Still no Xbox version. They announced the Rebirth, which is part 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And still no words from Xbox. No words at all for anything from Xbox. And again, maybe I'm repeating myself. It's fine. To my Xbox brethren, let it go. At this point, you guys gotta let this go. It's better off if you buy yourself a PC or buy yourself a Steam Deck or even buy yourself a PlayStation. But I think PlayStation locked this game down because they want Final Fantasy, they want Sephiroth, and they want Cloud to be associated only with PlayStation. All right, I think this is not going anywhere at all. And the thing that kind of not made me mad, but I was like, really? Square Enix, really you're doing this? It's like you threw the Xbox fan base, even the Switch fan base, Nintendo, a bone. Like, here's Crisis Core. Here's this PSP game. Have fun with this. Like, have the sequel, whatever it is, of Final Fantasy VII without knowing what's going on Final Fantasy VII. To me, it was a bit disrespectful at that point, but at the end of the day, I really don't mind. This is not my type of franchise. Now, again, this is more of a video for my Xbox brethren. You guys gotta let this go. I swear to God, you gotta let this go. This is not going anywhere. I've seen these past few days a lot of craziness on Twitter. Boycott Square Enix, F them, screw them, blah blah blah, all these stuff. But again, I gotta repeat myself again. Xbox fans, you gotta let this go. Alright? This is not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. It doesn't matter how much you complain. Square Enix already has the money in their bank accounts. Period. However, the deal was made. Whatever's been done to not allow the Xbox platform to enjoy this game, just let it go. Alright, this is not going anywhere. Don't blame anybody. Don't be like, screw them, they did. No, this is the game. Alright, this is part of the game. This is the game. This is how the game's being played. Period. You don't like the rules, that's fine. I mean, Microsoft just bought 2 publishers, all right? So just let it go. You're not getting Final Fantasy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe just tell Microsoft to talk to Square Enix if they're not being purchased by Sony. Like, hey, how about I'll give you a whole bunch of money so you can make me the Chrono Trigger exclusive to the Xbox platform, remade just like Final Fantasy. Maybe that's an idea for me, or for that's an idea you can throw out there. I don't know, but at this point, Final Fantasy 7, let that thing go. All right, you're sounding like ponies when they start crying. All right, let it go. It's not happening, and if it happens, I'll take the L. I don't care. But at this point, let it go. Besides, and this is just my opinion, but if you were really a Final Fantasy 7 fan, you would have bought a PlayStation or would have gotten it on PC. That's just my opinion. I think if you were really a fan, you would have chased this game wherever it was, wherever it is, just to enjoy this game. But anyway, guys, now that you're hearing my dog bark, that's the end of the video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, maybe subscribe, or leave a comment, do whatever you want. This is just for my Xbox fans out there. You gotta let this go, all right? Worry about other things that are coming. Final Fantasy 7 is not anytime close to the plans, and I'll take an L if it's actually coming to the Xbox platform, but at this point I will not hold my breath to it. So see you guys later in the next video.